right, it looks like we are live now. Finally got the notification. Lags a little bit for that, but welcome everybody to our next episode of Count the Bucket. Got a different looking panel here. Got a special guest, Owen, with us here. Of course, Nick, good to have you back. You've been absent on me for a few episodes here, but thank you for joining us, guys. Owen, we'll go ahead and let you start. Introduce yourself and just tell a little bit about yourself, what all you do, and everything you got going on, and then we'll just let Nick do his stuff too. Okay.
Okay, well, I guess if you're just going to give me free reign like that, yeah. We used to work together. We were former network members. I do stuff now with the radio station here in upstate South Carolina. Formerly ESPN Upstate. We actually just changed over to a CBS Sports affiliate like a couple days ago, less than a week ago now. So we are the Fan Upstate now. I'm still getting used to that, and I hope I don't get in trouble for saying ESPN. But yeah, man, things are going good. It's good to be with you guys.
Go ahead, Nick.
And of course, I am the co-host. I am back. It's been about 2 weeks since I've been since I was last on here. Nick Andre, the co-host, one of the co-hosts of this terrific podcast called Count the Bucket. Basketball writer, basketball analyst, covering everything from high school to the sports or high school to the pros. Excuse me. Follow me on Twitter, Nick Andre ATR. Check out the link tree. I actually need to update my link tree because it's a mess right now, but still check that out.
And, of course, myself, who is pretty much on here always as the co-host, Nick.
Consistent.
But consistent, that's right. My name is Michael. You can find me on MDLawson00 on pretty much any kind of social media. Follow us, Count Bucket USN for TikTok with Twitter. And, of course, we are missing Mark, who was on last week, and CJ, who I've pretty much just told him it's official CJ that you're a co-host now. So welcome to calling yourself a co-host for the rest of your life.
I think CJ needed a break after the Knicks got eliminated, so I don't blame him.
He needs that time to just meditate, as they say, relax, and just be depressed for a little bit. We understand. Yeah. It's hard to be a New York fan on anything these days, and it's really hard to say that because when I was a kid, New York was like the state of everything. But, the Knicks used to be great. Yankees used to be great. Connie, sorry I'm saying it. Y'all haven't been to a World Series in over a decade. That's weird. The Mets are almost coming up being better than you all in baseball now. We won't even get into football on this with the Giants and the Jets. But anyways, we'll just leave it at that. I hate it for New Yorkers right now. But we're just happy because we are about, 4 games out now for the regular season of the NBA. Is that right? 4 games? With
just
some
about, yeah.
Ending tonight. So before we dive into a lot of this stuff, Owen, I know you're a big Charlotte fan, right?
Unfortunately, yeah.
I like the Charlottes. I think they're so close to being a really good team. They're a very high-flashing team. So what's one thing with your Hornets and also through the whole NBA that's kind of stuck out to you, or like an amazement or like a surprise, either a high or a low that you've enjoyed this year or hated, I guess?
Oh, I mean, in Charlotte specifically, I think everything they've been doing for the past couple of years has really excited me. I mean, I just did a guest spot earlier on a little local Charlotte Hornets podcast and talked to this dude about the same thing. I mean,
oh yeah,
there are a lot of Hornets fans that are extremely impatient right now because we finally have a guy that looks like, by all circumstances, can be a superstar, and LaMelo Ball, probably a top 10 guy in the NBA in the future is what I think. And that in itself has made people, think the Hornets should be on the Memphis Grizzlies rebuild type track. And I don't think that's, the pace they're at. They're not ready yet. They still need a big man. James Borrego is still, at this point he's gotten his wet, but LaMelo's still young. Miles is still young. They still got to extend him. I mean, there are still so many pieces they need before people can expect them to do anything more than get past the first round. It's going to take time. And then the NBA overall, I guess it's not really a surprise. I expected them to be as good as we've seen them be. But Phoenix, I mean, they're another team like Memphis. I mean, the rebuild, they went from bubble darling to holy crap, like they're undefeated here. That's pretty cool. Devin Booker, we're finally starting to see that Kobe-type trajectory we all thought he could have. And now it's, if they don't win the finals this year, it's almost like their whole season is a bust. And that happened in the span of like 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
So, to see the trajectory of some of these teams, the rises, and, eventually we'll see who falls the fastest. But As soon as Giannis got going, Milwaukee rose, and they rose fast. Memphis is the second seed in the West. Phoenix is, overall record-wise, far and away the best team in the NBA right now. I think they're the favorites to win the finals, especially after blowing a 2-0 lead to Milwaukee last year. I mean, it's got to be championship or bust for them.
Right. I'm going to just go a little bit here. What about Washington, PJ Washington? What do you think of him? Do you think he can be a leader on this team? I won't say leader because it's going to be Ball as the leader, but a big man for this team since
just a solid role player, a guy that can, in my opinion, I could see him playing a lot of small ball five. I think they have kind of experienced that a little bit throughout this year.
Yeah, they have. And PJ, they started doing that small ball five mess with PJ last year, and it was kind of a struggle at times. He was struggling to protect the rim. He was struggling on dribble drives, defending the pick and rolls, especially. Mm-hmm. And to see the leap that he's made this year on the defensive side of the ball, his first game as a rookie, he came out and he made 7 threes in that game against Chicago. I was there. It was insane. I thought he was going to be our next superstar. And then obviously that's right. But I'd say, and I said this earlier doing the same guest spot I mentioned, I think PJ is the biggest X factor on this team. If he plays well on the defensive side of the ball, that small ball lineup that they can run with LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, when he comes back healthy here, hopefully in the next week or two, ready for the play-in tournament. Miles Bridges at the 4 and PJ Washington at the 5, they're really, really hard to defend. There's a reason they're one of the best offenses in the NBA. And do I think PJ is a starting caliber Bam Adebayo type small ball 5 and undersized center? No, he's not. He can't defend the rim well enough. But if they get a true big man in here, PJ's a guy that could still start at the 4. I think Miles probably does if they get another big man, honestly. But if not, coming off the bench as a guy that can play the 4 and the 5 and shoot the 3 and defend fairly well, I mean, that's an asset to a team that's competing anywhere close to a championship. And I don't think they should get rid of him for that reason.
Okay. I'll take that. Let's see here. Sorry. What about you, Nick? Any surprise as on our color cast? A couple of comments coming in here. Perry, who's on there with his Owen that we were just talking about earlier, he said the Lakers with a sad face. That's his big surprise. I'm assuming he's going with that. And of course, I mean, let's be honest. Coming into the season, we thought. Well, I say we thought. We imagine. I'll say that word and better. Imagine the Lakers Nets finals here, when the teams were put together, and now everybody was like, I don't see how this lineup's going to work for the Lakers. It didn't, obviously. They're under 500, way under 500. So, I mean, the Nets are an 8 seed. We won't get to that part yet. But, Nick, what about you? What's something that's been surprising to you this season so far? Well, I say so far. We're almost done with this season. But what's been surprising to you?
I think the biggest surprise for me this season is the emergence of the Cleveland Cavaliers, because I don't think any of us really came in. Well, Amber did. Let me say that back. Amber definitely did. Shout out to Amber. Amber told us that the Cavs would be in the play-in tournament. I was like, you are crazy. They are actually number 7 right now in the Eastern Conference, which is insane to me. But you got to give props to Jamie Bickerstaff, who's done a terrific job there. Darius Garland, who is ascending as an all-star talent. Yes, it's right there. There it is right there. Darius Garland, who is ascending as an all-star talent. Evan Mobley, who in my opinion will be Rookie of the Year. I know it's a close call between him and Cade Cunningham, but I think Evan Mobley will probably run away with the award.
Agreed.
Guys like ascending big men like Jared Allen, and also probably one of the biggest keys so far has been Lauri Markkanen, honestly, which I didn't expect him to really flourish with this team the way that he did. Or the way that he has, but for him to be able to stretch the floor and be that 3 guy for them has been pretty impressive. So that's probably the biggest thing that's probably shocked me this year, because I did not come into the season expecting Cleveland to really make a run.
Absolutely not. And Amber said go ahead.
Hey, can we talk about how much of a matchup nightmare that team is when they come out with Jarrett Allen, Lauri Markkanen,
and Evan Mobley
in the same
Oh my God.
I'm terrified of the Hornets playing them in the play-in tournament, whether it's as a second game, 7-9 game, or whatever the case is, because they cannot defend that lineup for anything.
What do you think if the Nets and Cleveland came in for a 7-8. Do you think they have a chance of beating the Nets at that too?
Ooh,
Nah.
I don't know.
I mean, it's one game
right now.
Of course, they're without Dragic at the moment, but right, I agree. I think it's almost like what we used to say a few weeks back with the Lakers and LeBron. If it's a one-game series, you would be stupid not to put money on LeBron for a one-game play-in game. I think it's like that with the Nets, with, I mean, everyone they have, KD as well. But I do want to give a shout-out to Amber on my paper here that I wrote down. She said on July 31st that the Cavs in the playoffs, not play-in, but she said in the playoffs. So she called that for sure. So I'm kudos to her. We miss her on the show for sure.
Shout out to Amber. Definitely shout out to Amber.
The queen.
I would like to say if it stays the way the standings are right now after these last 4 games, if the Cavaliers play the Hawks, I'm sure Trey could go for 45, 50 if he really had the feeling in him. But I really like Cleveland in that matchup.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how they're going to defend any of those guys down low. Cleveland can slow the pace of the game down, get Trae Young out of rhythm, get them out of transition and shooting so many threes, and Cleveland can win that game and grab that 7 spot with 1 win at home.
I agree. I mean, right now Cleveland just looks like they could care less of what they're supposed to be. Like, you know, it's almost like we know that you all are saying that we're supposed to be bad, but we don't care. We're going to play like this. I feel like Memphis is almost that same way. Like, we knew Memphis was going to be good, but they just kind of said, forget what the media said of us. We're going to be this great. Like, I think nobody thought they'd be like up in the close 4 or 5 or even 6 seed this year. We thought they'd be up there, but I think they're close to number 2 seed right now. If they're not, I've got
the fact that Memphis has done so well without Ja Morant. I mean, what are they now? Are they still 18-2 without him?
20-2 now, I believe.
20-2. Jeez, like that is absolutely wild. Like if they carry that momentum in and he just hops right back in here shortly, and he fits seamlessly with what they're doing, they're going to be dangerous. You know, the West is going to be really tight, and the East is too. There's a lot of parity in the NBA now, and for the first time, you know, this deep at least, it feels like in a long time. And it's really making the product the league is putting out just that much better.
Yeah, looking at it, Memphis are 7 out of first, but they're in second place. And third place is Golden State, who's been without Steph, but they're 6 games ahead of Golden State right now. So, I mean,
if you start on the Warriors, dog.
Jeez. Do you want to go there?
Oh my God! I guess we can go there, man.
I haven't heard the Warriors takes, so I wanna hear what you got to say.
I'm gonna say, you know, like coming into this year, you know, we got off to that hot start. I can't remember like exactly like how we started. I think we started like 18-2 or something like that. I can't exactly remember, but we were by far the best team in the league. Steph was having an MVP year, and you know the optimism was there. You know, once Klay comes back, everything's gonna go well. Klay comes back, Draymond gets injured. Obviously, we lose a lot of that chemistry. We expect James Wiseman to come back. James Wiseman obviously is not going to come back this year, so I don't know, man. Honestly, I'm not against the Warriors winning a title this year because obviously that's my team, but it's definitely going to be tougher than what I expected, even with Steph coming back, because Klay is still trying to find his rhythm as a player on both ends of the floor. Which is expected, you know, considering that he missed 2 years. Draymond is still – you can tell Draymond is still bothered by that back injury per se. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, you know, we have a lot of young guys who still lack that experience. Like Andrew Wiggins has only been to the playoffs once. Jordan Poole's never seen the postseason. I mean, we still got great role players in Bielitsa, Otto Porter, and the rest of these guys. But a lot of the other guys really lack that playoff experience. Not saying that will cause us a championship, but it also can at the same time. So – I don't know. It's like, you know, I still have high hopes that the Warriors can get it done, but it's definitely not going to be an easy ride.
If any team that can face diversity and struggle for a bit and then come back somewhat fully healthy, full string, I think the Warriors would be the team that could come back like that and make noise in the playoffs. So I don't think you can ever really count the Warriors out. Even like the Nets on the East Coast where they're the 8th seed, like they're not the 8th seed. Like, I mean, we understand the numbers and everything, but they're still probably one of the favorites to win it still at the 8. I think the Warriors, even though they've had struggle and Clay has had some struggles coming back, you can't really bet against them either, can you? I mean, do you all think that that's a chance to be like, well, I mean, the Warriors just cannot win it, or is like, well, it's still the Warriors. We know what they're capable. We've got to put some respect with them still.
The Warriors still got a chance, but I'll let Owen talk. Go ahead.
Well, I was about to say, Michael, like exactly what you said. At the end of the day, it's still the Warriors. It's still the two best shooters, arguably. One definitely the best of all time. I'm not sure where a lot of people are placing Clay nowadays, the top 3, 4, 5 shooter all time for sure. I mean, Draymond hasn't really been the Draymond that I feel like most people that don't consistently watch the Warriors remember from when they were as good as they were a few years ago in 2016, 17 when they were playing the Cavs. But Curry, Nick said it, he was playing like the MVP early in the year, breaking all those records. He was scoring like crazy and reminded us all of, oh, yeah, that's Steph Curry right there. That's the best shooter of all time. You know what I mean? And then Clay came back. It felt like it was all piecing together for the Warriors perfectly at the right time. And it kind of hasn't like they thought it would with Clay coming back as early as he did this year at least. But in the playoffs, nobody's been there as much as they have. The only person who is LeBron might not even be there. So I don't know. I feel like if they end up matched up against Phoenix at any point in that second round, I like Phoenix in that series a lot. I don't think Wiseman or anybody on that team is going to be able to do anything to stop DeAndre Ayton. Curry might do his thing, but Booker's going to do his as well. I feel like Mikal Bridges is going to make a big difference in that series if it ends up happening. But you got to put respect on Golden State's name. They're never going to be written off until this era of basketball with Curry, Clay, and Draymond is officially over, I think.
Like, that's one city that in our generation time, I guess, in this short dynasty, if you will, knows how to win at home and knows what it's like to be in a championship game or at least a playoffs. Like, we still really haven't had a big atmosphere. Well, I guess we had last year. We weren't in the bubble last year, were we? So I guess we still had last year, but it was kind of rushed. Golden State's still third seed, I mean, we're talking bad about them. I won't say bad, but a little negative towards them.
Well, it is a reason why we're talking bad about them. They've been sorry over the last month. I mean, we know that they're still the third seed, but they've just been atrocious over the last month. Yes.
They've been the Chicago of the West almost, the way they've kind of started playing bad basketball, right here towards the tail end of the season. Two very similar teams in my mind right now, but it's also like, with Curry being hurt, it's hard for me to fault them as much as I fault Chicago for all their downfalls here recently, if that makes sense.
Well, looking at the record here, Golden State is 30-10 at home and then 19-19 on the road. So that's a little odd there, I think. 3-7 in the last 10. So maybe, I mean, I'm actually kind of worried about the Dallas Mavericks. They've been playing good here recently after they made this. Go ahead.
Dude, nobody wants to see Luka Doncic in the playoffs. I'm telling you that right now. Nobody wants to see that, man.
Me too.
What is it?
Isn't he just like 23 years old as well? Like, I mean,
I think so, yeah.
He's still learning and growing.
Dude, I don't know if you guys got the chance to listen to this. It's the only Luka interview I've really ever seen. And it was still kind of dry. Like, the talk was dry. He was on JJ Redick's podcast not long ago. And if you guys haven't listened to it, I highly recommend. He said the step back three that he started doing, he didn't learn or ever practice until like against Houston in his rookie year. And he was like, oh man, that was dope. Like, I'm going to add that to my bag. And he did. Like, he's still so young. He was talking about all the differences between EuroLeague. He said it's easier to score in the NBA than it is in the EuroLeague because the rules are different. But he said it's so much harder to guard everybody in the NBA, than it ever could be over there because the talent is so much different. He's like, it's 20 times harder to play defense or something like that. But Luka is one of my favorite players to watch. I mean, I compare him to Jokic in the way that their body movements and the way they move doesn't really fit or, the aesthetic of how good they actually are. But the way he uses his body to get to his spots, like it's it's some of the best I've ever seen. You know, at least in some of the stuff he does.
He looks like me out there. Like, I mean, obviously he's skinnier than I am, but like he has no arm cut, no muscle.
There's no athleticism or nothing.
Yeah. That's like watching Joker out there making the passes. I'm like, this dude looks like he just finished a bag of potato chips, dusted himself off, and went into the game. It's like, okay, like, whoop, made a pass like that. I mean,
he looks like he's exhausted. Jokic does from tip-off to into the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Nick, what's going on with the game? We can tell the excitement.
Oh my God, I'm stressed out.
I'm so stressed. Championship game here. What's the score right now? Keep me updated.
It's 48-39. South Carolina is up on UConn, but UConn's making a small comeback.
Okay, so who are you for?
I'm rooting for South Carolina.
Okay. I was watching that in my apartment before I walked out here to come talk to y'all. That's a big deal around here. Dawn Staley, Carolina women's basketball around here, bro. They don't play.
Really?
I don't play about Dawn Staley. You do not disrespect.
Oh yeah, you don't disrespect the GOAT.
Okay.
You don't disrespect the GOAT.
I was mad when the Blazers didn't give her a bigger, opportunity than they did to interview for that job over the summer. I really thought she had a chance to get it. I just feel like when Becky opens those floodgates, when Pop eventually retires, then I feel like she'll get an opportunity very, very shortly after that. Somebody's got to break the barrier.
That's true. No, that's
it will be San Antonio that breaks it. Whoa, knocking my mic everywhere.
Yeah. But honestly, back to Luka though, because I think it's been very interesting that after the Porzingis trade, we just kind of see him go into this different mode, and like once he actually like finally gets settled in as far as himself, Dallas has been able to progress off of that as well. Like Spencer Dinwiddie has came in and has played pretty well.
Yep.
Obviously, you still got guys like Reggie Bullock. And the rest of those guys as well. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like, I don't know, it almost reminds me of like LeBron in the early Cavs days where it was like, in the early Cleveland days, when it was really just him as the star and then everybody else was like which basically role players. It's almost like the same with that. I'm not going to say it's exactly like that, but it's almost as similar though. It's like Luka's the star.
You're saying he's better than LeBron already? I'll take that. I'm totally fine with that.
I mean, Jalen Brunson is almost better than any player by himself than any player LeBron had on some of those early Cavs teams.
Definitely better than Daniel Gibson.
Hey, Iki, with them high screens, he was ahead of his times. That pick and fade with the big man.
Yeah.
If that would be going on now, he could have extended his career too.
Yeah,
but I mean, what do y'all feel like Dallas does to kind of rectify that situation and put him in a spot to really compete for a championship? Because they're not super far off. I mean,
I don't know if they need to go for like another all-star caliber, but if they do, they need to find somebody that really fits like alongside Luka. And I don't know exactly what that is, honestly, because we thought it was Porzingis. We thought that they would play pretty well, the pick and roll and pick and pop, especially considering that Porzingis can't stretch the floor. But unfortunately, it was just never able to work. So if they do go for another star, I don't know exactly who it would be because, I'm saying, like whoever it is, like they have to fit Luka or they have to fit Luka.
Yeah, I mean, what's weird with Luka is even though we've seen him for probably like 3 or 4 years now, it still doesn't seem like we've seen enough of Luka to know what style fits him. Obviously, the ball needs to be in his hands quite a bit. I thought Porzingis would open him up as far as open the floor up a lot where it can do pick and fade and get him out in three-point, even have shooters out there as well. But maybe it needs to be something different where a big can do a pick and roll and just dominate down low, like I'm going to say a Gobert type player. I don't know, but with some shooters around him.
I feel like I'm kind of stuck on Gobert or something similar, like DeAndre Ayton would be either incredible, like we don't realize, or it'd be way too clunky to ever work. And because of his style, like y'all were both saying, I mean, I want to say he needs a shooter, like he needs another borderline all-star, almost CJ McCollum type shooter around.
You know who I think?
Well,
you know who I think could fit with him? Nah, I wouldn't go there. But honestly, like here's a guy that if he can stay healthy, he can have a very productive career, especially as a scorer. Cam Reddish, in my opinion.
How do the Mavericks go about getting Karl Anthony Towns from Minnesota?
That's a tough one because I don't think Cat's leaving now.
Yeah, since you got Ant and you're relevant.
You got Ant-Man who's playing pretty well. Like that Minnesota team is rolling too. Like that's honestly another surprise team throughout this year as well.
Yes. Now, it's not a high caliber player, but as we're talking about this, someone that I think they could get cheap that could possibly, I'll say, blossom if this was the type of player that he needed was Whiteside. Because, he did good with Miami, played well, and then got the contract, and then all of a sudden he just was trash again. I don't know if maybe some change of scenery, play with Luka, and really learn this pick and roll with him. Maybe it could be a very cheap contract that turned out well, which he got paid with Miami, so I'm sure that it's still going to be a high contract. I'm just saying, if things were to come out like, hey, we don't want you no more because you suck that bad. Everyone's seen the play on, I'm sure, Instagram where he somehow threw the ball to the defender right there, and he's like, oh, man, I'm sorry, and he, moves, and then the guy just scores right in front of him, too. So, obviously, Utah's not loving him the best, but I'm just trying to think, someone that's not a high caliber that could maybe
impact that team,
yeah. But, Bradley Beal comes to mind, just that other shooter, because, Washington is probably going to be moving him sometime this offseason.
I don't know. It seemed like Bradley Beal wants to stay in Washington. I don't know why, but it seems like he's –
And at the Bradley Beal is a great shooter, but he's also a great shooter off the dribble, and he needs the ball in his hands a lot too. So I feel like that trying to split usage between them would be hard, and I don't feel like it'd work very well. He almost needs someone like Klay Thompson that doesn't need to touch the ball to impact the game, that can play elite defense and turn offense into defense with you, as well as be able to move off ball in an elite way and, make every shot every time he's called on, whether it's in the corner on the wings, mid-range on a cut. Luka's going to find you if you're open.
Maybe that's Duncan Robinson since
well, I don't know. I feel like Luka and Brad could work, because you got to remember, Bradley Beal played alongside John Wall, who had the ball in his hands, who had a high usage rate. Same thing with a guy like Russell Westbrook as well. So, Bradley Beal is a great scorer off the dribble, but he can also transition into that, playing off the ball as well.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Well,
We spent a lot of time talking on Luka, to be fair, and I got to go here in a second. I wanted to talk about this before I left, though.
What's up, CJ?
It's good, guys.
What was that, Owen?
I want to get y'all's thoughts on who y'all's MVP is before we get out of here.
Oh,
put CJ on the hot seat as he jumps in.
Yes, sir. CJ, right away.
Oh, what's good, brother? How you doing, man?
Doing good.
I'm
MVP,
doing good, man.
Right now, as far as MVP, I have to go with the Joker just because he's got high points. He's leading in rebounds and assists. Embiid, I still feel like it's so close. These next 4 games, I think if he finishes out super high, over 30 points or something like that, maybe he can get an edge on that. But I think it's either Embiid or the Joker once again this year.
Yeah.
Hey, jump right in here since you're in here now.
Man, yeah, it's tough. It's been a lot of guys been talked about throughout the season, and I'm gonna go with. I said DeRozan earlier in the season. I thought he was playing well, but then
earlier in the season he was playing.
Yeah,
he was playing up to that level.
Right, and then the Bulls they struggle against those top teams.
Yeah.
So man, was good, brother. I'm
gonna
go
0-13 in the top 3 seeds of both East and West.
Last week I said Embiid just because I felt like he was consistent the whole year. Even when James Harden got there, he was still putting up really good numbers. But I might have to go with Giannis, man. I think Giannis.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's my guy too.
Yeah, I think the way he's playing right now. I know he struggled. He struggled a little bit tonight against the Mavericks and Luka. He's right there also. He's done a great job with that team in Dallas, getting them to the 4th seed. After I was listening to you guys. Yeah, I was listening to you guys. Yeah, I was listening to you guys talking about how he's played well with the absence of Porzingis going to Washington. So, but yeah, Giannis playing great. Giannis is playing great, and it's just consistency. It's just dominant. I know his play style isn't It's not popular to some other people. It was a big talk around this week about KD or Giannis and which player people prefer. I think people like KD because he has the size of Giannis, but he plays like a guard, like he has dribble moves and things like that. But Giannis is just dominant.
That flair to his game that appeals to people, and Giannis takes too long to shoot his free throws. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You need a countdown for Giannis on the free throw line. But I just think consistency. I mean, once Middleton and Drew Holiday got there into the lineup, I think they're 30, 34, and 10 this season when those guys are all together. And he's dominant. He's dominant. I mean, he's just really continued to play well after winning Finals MVP, winning the championship. I'm gonna have to put him number one. I gotta put Jokic. I mean, it's probably Jokic is 2 on my list, just because again, no Murray. Michael Porter Jr. has been out, and he's a walking triple double. He's a point center, and he's just been amazing this year. Amazing to watch. Again, another guy not flashy. I'm outside of the passes, but his playing style is not. You're not going to see him on highlights and things like that, dunking on people. It's get into your spots and being aggressive. So those would be my top 2 guys, and I probably still have Embiid right there at 3.
So this year has probably been the most difficult when you talk about who the MVP is, because there's really not like a favorite right now. Because here's the thing: like in the beginning of the year, obviously it was Steph, in my opinion. The Warriors were clicking. I thought he was the MVP. Then as the season progressed, I thought it was Embiid for a little minute. Then I thought it was DeMar DeRozan, then Jokic.
Booker.
But I like Booker, but I don't think he's ever been like top.
Hey, I even went with his haircut. Come on, man, it's Booker, okay? Just for a little bit, all right.
I see you got the Kentucky sticker too on the laptop.
Yeah. If we're doing top 5, I would say, in no order: Jokic, Giannis, Embiid, John Morant, and probably who you like better though? Yeah, okay, yeah, Luke, yeah, definitely Luka. I was gonna say either DeRozan or Booker, but yeah, Luka's definitely got to be up there. But my clear favorite as of right now is Giannis. I think Giannis has had a pretty solid season, to say the least. Michael Booker, that's funny. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
I just think it sounds weird because I say he's the hottest guy in the NBA. Maybe not. No, hold on. We won't go there.
Oh my God, Giannis has been obviously one of the best players throughout the season, and I just feel like one of the reasons why I do have him as the MVP is because, like, I don't know if y'all been paying attention to him offensively, but he's really been developing like that mid-range game. Just really, just really being able to create, around the basket and, of course, around the foul line.
Step back 3 to tie it in
the game. Yes.
I mean, that was nuts. My biggest thing, I was surprised 2 out of the 3 y'all said Giannis. I thought I was going to have to defend Giannis a little bit more tonight. Like, I was prepared to do it.
I'm going with the Greek Freak all day.
He's got notes out here. It's like, man, listen, Giannis is like this.
He's not going to get it, I don't think. He's really made a late season push. That block he had on Embiid, what was it, last week? I mean, really kind of put him, okay, should we be taking him more seriously? And I think it's going to end up going to Jokic, but I feel like the biggest argument for Giannis is if you took last year completely out of everybody's minds, you took the finals out, the finals MVP, the MVP last year, he has been the best player, and he's only gotten better from last year. I mean, if he keeps shooting almost 80% from the line, anywhere close to that, he's walking 30 points given every single night with probably 12 rebounds minimum to boot. Like, I don't know how they're going to get into playoff mode. Drew Holiday is going to start playing lockdown defense again on the perimeter. I mean, they're going to be hard to stop. I really think they're the best team in the East. And Brooklyn, I haven't gotten to crap on Brooklyn tonight.
Let's do it.
Honestly, listen, they suck right now. Like, KD is carrying them hard. Kyrie is balling, but it still feels like he hasn't found his groove. I still love watching him play because he's Kyrie freaking Irving. I mean, he is, especially in his heyday. I think it was either Stephen A. or even Max might have said this, but like, he's the kind of player people think about going to pay to watch play basketball. Like, he is Showtime. And I've always loved him for that reason. But they don't mesh well right now. They can't play a lick of defense, which is why I really think if the standings stay exactly like they are right now and the Charlotte Hornets host the Brooklyn Nets, for a 1-game advance or go home, the Charlotte Hornets are beating them. I'm telling you, I'm predicting it right now.
Okay.
I'm telling you the Charlotte Hornets will run them out of Spectrum Center. Like, KD might drop 55 again, but the Charlotte Hornets, when the arena will be probably as packed as it's been in 15 years, if not more. Like, every seat's going to be sold out. It'll be the hottest ticket in North and South Carolina to go watch the Nets play and the Hornets play. LaMelo Ball, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving.
That would be nice.
And even if they're shooting well, like the Hornets, the way the Nets play offensively and, controversially on the contrary, like lack defensively, it plays right into what the Hornets want to do too. They want to run you. They want to get out in transition. LaMelo wants to throw lobs to Miles. They want to hit guys for corner, wing threes. Gordon Hayward's about to come back. Like, if there's any team that is in this conversation for playing that can compete with them offensively, it's Charlotte, which feels extremely weird to say, but I am confident in that. I feel like it's a really good matchup. They don't have a big man to bang with them. They just got to – you're not stopping KD, but you got to slow them down, and they can do that a little bit. PJ's a good matchup for KD.
Okay. So there's a chance. So there's a chance that Brooklyn can not make the playoffs, is what we're saying.
Yes. Which they don't deserve. Wild. But yes.
I mean, out of the team, I will say Charlotte would be a scary team because, it's streaks or, flanks, really, So if this team is hot and they're in the playoff, which I think it being their first ever playoff game of playing, I think it might be a little the rim be kind of small, a little tight, timid shots.
They played in the play-in last year against Indiana, and they got absolutely run. Okay. And I mean run out of the gym. Like, I think it was 144 to – it was really rough. And
I forgot about that.
Here's the worst-case scenario I see for the Hornets, and I'll say this before I get out because my phone's about to die. They could very well beat Brooklyn in an advance to the winner gets 8 seed game against whoever loses 7-8, and then if it's Cleveland, they could be on that high of beating Brooklyn. We got a chance to go to the playoffs and still lose to Cleveland because it's such a bad matchup, and that would, man, I would be so heartbroken, to be quite honest with you, because, dude, if I watch that play-in game and we beat the Brooklyn Nets, want to talk to me for at least 72 hours. That's all I'm going to be talking about to anybody anywhere.
I mean, that's a win, man.
Could you imagine, the country would thank you all so much for putting out the Nets. Everyone would love not having Brooklyn in it or the Lakers in it and just be like, okay, you all stacked teams and not be there.
But wouldn't that be such a disappointment for Brooklyn? Because the only reason I'm saying, because I'm looking at it like this, so they finally lifted the vaccine mandate for Kyrie to play home games because they are expecting Kyrie to be there, which obviously will give the Nets a higher chance of winning the championship. Right. Now all of a sudden you don't make the playoffs.
Okay,
that's wild.
I think what would be really funny is if they didn't make the playoffs and they put the band back on, be like, you know what? This COVID's getting bad again. Let's go back to this.
That'd be terrible for Mayor Adams if he were to do that. That'd be absolutely terrible.
Because it's actually terrible.
Well, I gotta go, fellas. It's always good.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Owen.
It's always good talking to y'all, man.
Always, man.
Michael, you let me know. I'll come do it again soon, okay?
Anytime, man. Anytime. Guaranteed.
For sure, brother. Talk to you soon, man.
All right, there we go. Well, Owen on here. That was a lot of fun having him. Of course, like he said, he's working with, I can't remember, I think CBS Sports, he said, down in northern South Carolina. Go check him out. He had his social media up there on there, I think, as well. But let's keep on going. So I'm going to pull this back up. Let's just look at this East a little bit. Can you guys see that? On the screen?
We can see it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if it ended today, who do you think would win, Cleveland or Atlanta? I got Cleveland.
What's the status on Jared? What's the status on Jared Allen?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know, honestly. Yeah, we might have to look that up, honestly.
Because you got Capella Capella and Allen. That's a pretty good battle. If he's not there, Mobley, he could play that 5, but he's still a little young and inexperienced, and Capella, could definitely, use a lot of his muscle and size him up a little bit. But I'd probably go with Atlanta because they have the experience. It's crazy. They're the 8th seed and they were just in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. It's wild.
Right.
It just speaks to how much better the East got.
That's true.
But yeah, I would go with Atlanta in that matchup against Cleveland. And it's crazy too. Cleveland was they were 3rd seed for at least a calm, 8 weeks throughout the season, and we thought, okay, they're going to be.
Man, the East has gotten tough. The East has gotten tough.
Yeah.
Boston ended up coming on the rise out of nowhere. Then you got other teams like Philly, Chicago, and others. So I'm saying like the East is really tough, but I'll probably go with Atlanta just because of the experience. I mean, even with Jared Allen, I think they have a better fight with Jared Allen, but I feel like with Trae Young having the year that he's having. And then, of course, you got great snipers on your team like Kevin Huerter, DeAndre Hunter, Bogdanovich, Gallinari, the rest of those guys. I feel like that's just going to be like probably the big advantage of them. And then, of course, having Capella protecting the rim is definitely going to be a big difference as well.
Okay, so we'll say Atlanta. I will go with that, and I think that's a great answer. Obviously, I mean it's 50-50. Let's be honest. So Brooklyn Cavaliers. I said Brooklyn, Charlotte. Who you all got? I mean, he almost talked me in wanting to say Charlotte, but I still want to go.
I got to rock with Brooklyn still, man. I mean,
it's a one-game play-in.
What's that?
I said it's a one-game play-in.
Yeah.
Or at least that game. They got to win another one to be in the playoffs. But for a one-game series, it'd be hard for me to go against KD in anything.
That's the thing, though. Like, KD and Kyrie, obviously when those two are together, they're spectacular as a duo. I mean, we know they lost to Atlanta, but you know what I'm saying? Like there's no shame in losing to Atlanta. Atlanta's a pretty good team regardless of their record. But honestly, man, KD, Kyrie, and I mean, I know they have LaMelo on the team. Charlotte, they got Miles Bridges, who was definitely taking a big step this year. Terry Rozier, the rest of those guys, but that team still lacks a lot of experience. And, come playoff time, KD and Kyrie are definitely going to be ready.
Okay, so we got them winning, and then let's say the Cleveland-Brooklyn game.
Cleveland and Brooklyn. I want to go Brooklyn as well.
Okay, so we're going to have Miami-Brooklyn first.
Yep, that's going to be a movie. I know you're going to be stressed, Michael. That's going to be a stressful one.
But talking with you all and almost talking it out here, I mean, that's Brooklyn already playing 2 games of winner take all games. I mean, that makes me feel a little more comfortable being Miami with them playing 2 games. Probably pretty close. I won't say it's back to back, but it'll probably be a day rest in between and then start. So, I mean, I feel like it's going to give Miami somewhat of an edge. I think Miami should win this. Maybe it goes to 6 games. But I'm still thinking Miami could come out on top on this. How y'all feeling on that 1-8 seed if it's
Miami coming on top?
Yeah.
It's tough though because I feel like offensively as a team, Brooklyn is better, but defensively, it's by far Miami, without question. So it's gonna be tough though. As long as the thing about it is that KD and Kyrie, they're going to get their numbers, but how do you stop the other guys like the Bruce Browns, other guys or actually, take that back. This might be back, so that definitely gives Brooklyn an edge defensively. So it's tough one, man. I honestly can't really tell who wins, even though I do still think that Miami's the better defensive team, but I don't know. It's tough
because you're going to have PJ on KD quite a bit. You're going to have Bam on him as well. You're going to have even probably Jimmy Butler on him as well. So, I mean, I think every pick that is set is going to be changed or switched over top. So, I mean, I think it's going to be a good defensive game for Miami. I'm going to say good. Obviously, they're still going to be scoring over 100 points. It's Brooklyn. But I still feel like Miami's defense, they've got at least 3 guys that can contest KD. I won't say defend because that's going to be impossible to do. As I noticed CJ just bounced on us. Hopefully he'll jump back on here.
Yeah, but, I kind of realized that too. I was like, wait, where's CJ?
I think he was lagging there a little bit, so maybe he just coming back. But I feel like Miami can wear them down quite a bit because, I mean, we don't know if Ben Simmons will be playing. I don't think it's been set yet, has it?
I'm not 100% sure, honestly.
He's still not even played.
I don't know, man. like we don't know what's going on with that guy, man. Like, he hasn't played all year. Then all of a sudden he gets traded. We're like, finally, we're gonna get this guy to play, and now he has back issues. Which I'm not trying to downplay it like he doesn't, but it's like, bro, like where are you getting injured from? Like, you haven't touched at least from what I assume, you haven't touched the basketball or touched a basketball floor in I don't know how long.
And now he's filing a grievance lawsuit or a grievance suit. I guess I don't know how you say that. Against million.
I honestly don't blame that hell. I mean, I need that 20 million, bro. Like, I don't blame that at
all. No, I'm just saying he's got a lot going on right now.
Yeah.
Like, he's probably not even thinking basketball right now at this point. I mean, who cares? But CJ, who you got, Miami or Brooklyn, and how many games?
Wow, I'm gonna go with if Ben plays, I'm gonna go with Brooklyn in 7.
Oh, in 7?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Brooklyn in 7 in that series. I think it's gonna be really close. It's gonna be a chess match. I mean, I like the Heat. I think they play good defense, but I just think that the Nets, they have two of the greatest shot creators, in my opinion, in the NBA, and they have those guys that can step up in big moments. You could say Miami, they have more depth, and they definitely do. But who's going to be that second guy next to Jimmy Butler that's going to step up in the playoffs? And I'm just not sure who that's going to be. Yeah, it's going to have to be Hero. And if it's Hero and Jimmy Butler and the other guys versus, KD, Kyrie, Ben Simmons. I mean, you throw Bam in there for that, kind of mini big three for Miami as well. I mean, it's favorable. It's good. Obviously, Spoelstra has the edge, the coaching edge over Steve Nash. But I just think it's a really great series. But I'm gonna go with Brooklyn in 7.
If Ben plays.
If Ben plays, yeah.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to go. I'm going to back up just a little bit before I punt. I'm going to say Miami in 6. But if Jimmy Butler tries to fight anyone outside of the gym, tells them meet in the back, then I'm going to say it's going to be Brooklyn. So it doesn't matter who it is, but if he wants to fight anyone, the series is over and Brooklyn's won it. What about you, Nick? You say Brooklyn?
I don't know, man. It's rough, man, because it's basically like I said earlier. I mean, offensively, like Brooklyn's definitely has the advantage, but I feel like defensively, Miami's the better team. Which I mean, I know. I think it was like a week ago. Brooklyn did end up blowing out Miami, but the playoffs are a different story. The game's going to slow down. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these teams are going to make big adjustments. So I don't know. I'll probably say Brooklyn in 7 just because of the advantage of having a guy like Kevin Durant on your team.
I'm just looking at this now, and I think this is almost comical. This is how much more competitive the East has gotten. So we're talking about a 1-10, which is the 8 seed matchup, and the record is 50-28 against 40-38. Then you jump over to the Western Conference, and you got Phoenix sitting at 62-16, and the 10th spot record is the San Antonio at 32-45. So they got a losing record, which Brooklyn only has a 2-game above 500. But I'm just the difference, the spread between 1-10 on the West Coast compared to 1-10 on the Eastern Conference is so much more dramatic there. It's almost doubled their wins, 62-32. I mean, do we even think anyone has a chance against Phoenix in that first round of any of the 8 seeds?
No. No, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't either. I'm sure Pelicans are praying Zion is, foot is healthy. He's doing windmill dunks and after the game, after practice and stuff like that. But if he's not, if he's not ready to go, then I think if he's playing, it's a really good series.
I think they
Phoenix
shut him down for the year already, didn't they? I think they said.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, because that's why the fans were upset. Like they said, he's done for the season, and then the next day on the IG, he's doing that windmill dunk, and they're like, okay, if he's done for the season, why can't he be doing this? Like,
because I saw him on the sideline, against the Pelicans. I mean, against the Lakers, and usually, when you see guys, on the sitting with the team, that means they're there's a possibility they could come back. So maybe they'll change their tune. If he's 100%, why not? I mean, have him play. I mean, listen. I mean, I know he does. His conditioning may not be up to par, but
even when he's 100%, it's still not up to par. Let's be honest. Look at him. He looks like me.
Yeah.
I think regardless of like what shape he's in, I think you sit him out. I mean, let's be honest. The Pelicans ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like this. I mean, this. I know they've been impressive.
Like this team though.
Yeah, I mean they've definitely been impressive for like the second half of the year. But I mean, let's be real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're in the play-in. Like, who knows if they'll even make it out of the play-in? And if they do, you know, they're not really gonna make any noise against a team like Phoenix or Memphis or whoever. So. Right. I don't know. It's like, you know, just hold off on Zion to next year so he can be fully healthy and prepared for next season.
You definitely don't want to.
Yeah, I think next. Right. Yeah, I think next year they're going to be really good. I mean, I think Willie Green's done a great job with that team. I mean, look how they started the season, and now, you know, they're in the play-in. No one thought they'd be even in play-in contention when the season first started. So.
I will bring this comment up. Really excited for the Jayhawks and the Tar Heels in the championship. I'm happy about that because one, Duke's not in there. I'm sad about it because Kentucky beat both the teams by over 40 points combined. Doesn't make sense, but that's why you play basketball.
It's
But
crazy.
Congrats to Coach K, a wonderful, I think 42-year career. I wish that it would have ended up with a national championship, but at the end of the day, the other blue got in the way.
Not me. I'm glad it ended the way it did. Wish it ended first round, second round, somewhere around there. I mean, if he'd won it at this stage, I would have said it was rigged the whole time.
Said it was rigged.
Yep, totally. If he would have won it, it was rigged.
So y'all have tomorrow. I'm picking UNC.
You picking UNC?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Kansas because didn't they blow the other team out? I can't remember.
Yeah, they blew up Villanova out.
I mean, they looked good in the Final Four round there. It's going to be hard to go against them, but Tar Heels look good. That Duke North Carolina was good.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go Kansas since you all two went that way. So let's go back to our board here. This is fun sharing my screen. What is your all's favorite matchup if it ended right now?
In the West or?
All together.
Let me look. I think that Dallas-Denver series is going to be really impressive. That Dallas-Denver series, you know what I'm saying? Like, Jokic is a lot of people's favorite for MVP. Luka is actually, like, right there as far as the MVP candidate. We obviously know what Luka could do in the playoffs. I mean, even last year, you know, he basically almost single-handedly knocked out the Clippers just by himself. So, with him this year having a little bit more support, you know, on his team, and then, of course, you know, you have Jokic, who doesn't have Jamal Murray or Michael Porter Jr., I think that'll be a tough battle. Honestly, I think it can go at least 6-7 games.
Really, yeah. I think it'll be a good one. That's one I'm most excited about because it's weird these markets that we don't really see too much about. I mean, you're seeing more Denver now because of Jokic back-to-back MVPs, probably Dallas with Luka as well, but you don't see them on TNT as much. But another one I'm kind of interested to watch. I'm sorry, but Golden State and Utah. Utah was the number 1 seed last year and got bounced first round. I just kind of want to see how they come out this year. Like, it's playoff time. Are we going to be as bad as we were last year, or are we going to come out and, like, say, we don't want the thing happen to us again this year, and we're going to make noise here? So I'm kind of interested or intrigued by this series as well. What about you, CJ?
I was gonna say Dallas, Denver as well. Luka versus Jokic. Luka has yet to get past the first round in his young career. Lost to the Clippers twice. I ain't going up against another European superstar and Jokic. I think that'd be a great chess match, a great battle between both triple-double threats between both of those guys. I think it's a great matchup. Philadelphia and Toronto looks interesting too. It looks interesting as well. I mean, Toronto, they're kind of small. They don't have a true center out there, so Embiid, could easily have his way. But they play really good team defense. They still have some champions over there in Siakam and Fred VanVleet. Have a young superstar, I think a young rising star in Scotty Barnes. Has a really good rookie season. I think that's a really good game. I think they're going to give Philadelphia some problems.
And of course, we've got 4 more games, I'm pretty sure, left for the week. And I didn't even pay attention to this, but really Dallas and Golden State, they could switch by the last 4 games here. Even Toronto and Cleveland could end up switching spots here, even with Chicago. So, I mean, this is definitely not set in stone at all where we're at right now. Now, most of them, I think, pretty good. Obviously, Phoenix and Memphis are going to be the 1 and 2. I think the East is at least set of who's in. We just don't know the order of everything. So at least we know the player or the teams are going to be in there. We still know that Lakers could possibly make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to.
Lakers, get them out of here. Literally get them out of here. I don't even want to think about them possibly make the play-in. I don't want them to make the play-in at all.
If I've already used the word rigged a few times here, if the Lakers make the playoffs or even the play-in, it will be rigged. I'm just saying that too, because this Laker team has absolutely sucked all year long. Have they not? I mean, they're actually healthy now. AD played today. I mean, he's playing. They're all playing. LeBron has an ankle injury, but he's still playing, right?
The fact that we have to keep seeing them.
He did.
Yeah. LeBron was out tonight, but the fact that we have to keep seeing the Lakers on national television and them lose every single game and basically get blown out every single game that they play on national television, I'm so done with them. I don't want to see them in the play-in. I'm rooting for San Antonio to keep that 10 seed. I'm rooting so hard for them because I don't want to see the Lakers in the play-in at all.
Let's see here.
Yeah, they're just.
I mean, they're under 400, 31 and 47, and we're still seeing them on ABC and all this stuff.
They could possibly lose 50 games this year. Wow. There's possibly a chance. That's crazy.
Let's go see who they finish out the season with.
The Lakers could lose 50 games.
Let's see who's there.
Crazy.
The last day is the 10th, ain't it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. How many more games do they have
today? They play Phoenix tomorrow. I don't know if Phoenix will be resting people.
No,
they're not.
Either way it goes, it doesn't matter. Devin Booker could sit, Chris Paul could sit, Ayton could sit, and I guarantee you the Suns will probably still win.
Okay. And then on TNT, of course, the Golden State and Lakers. I mean,
now that one the Lakers probably will win, which sucks because the Warriors stink right now.
So I think they win this one, April 8th, Oklahoma. Well, I mean,
they lost to OKC twice already.
I was going to say, I mean, I don't know. And then Lakers and Denver. I think they could win the Denver game just because then Denver may know exactly where they're going to be seated, and they may just say, okay, Joker, you're not playing. So I could easily see them losing 50 games if everyone was 100% playing because obviously they wouldn't beat Phoenix. I don't think they would beat Golden State, and I don't think they'd beat Denver here, which would be their 50 loss. But since it's the end of the year, I don't know how they're really going to be playing this because I think they lose to Phoenix on the 5th, definitely. I just don't know about that Denver since they already lost to them. I think it's the very last game. It might be the one that Jokic sets. What do y'all think? Do you think they win 2 of these games?
Man, I don't think so. I don't think so. They're just a bad team.
Do you think they could lose all 4 of these? Like LeBron's just done? Because, he is a quitter, like halfway through. Like, I've got 4 minutes left.
He's a quitter.
I think they're going to fight. I think they're going to be competitive. But I think LeBron will play in all these games, these last 4 games. They have an opportunity to, but they've just been so inconsistent all year. It doesn't matter who's been in the lineup. Westbrook, AD, LeBron. They've all struggled. Just the team isn't good. They don't have a lot of depth at all. I mean, they're pretty much relying on Melo to be their savior as a 6-man coming off the bench. And he's about to be 39. So,
yeah. My goodness. Would you ever thought we'd ever say, 1, the Lakers were just not a good team, and 2, LeBron's team is just not a good team? Like, what went wrong here? Because everyone, seriously, beginning of the year is like, hey, this is the team. This team is great. Now, granted, we had our issues with the Westbrook, how that was going to work. But still, everyone's like, or at least ESPN was saying, this team is going to be finals defendings here. Like, they're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to make a big run. They could possibly win the championship. How bad were these people that were saying this that really thought they had a chance?
Well, I mean, when you have a healthy LeBron, AD, and Russell Westbrook, I mean, you can't just basically sit here and say like, oh man, they're not going to make the playoffs. I mean, I think everybody expected them to at least make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I originally said that they were going to be a second round exit, and NBA Twitter got on my head for that. They were like, no, you're crazy. They're going to make the finals, and I'm like, all right, cool, watch, because I already knew from the beginning that LeBron and Westbrook were going to have problems. Westbrook is a guy. Russell Westbrook can't play off the ball. He's not that good of a shooter. He's not that effective off the ball. He has to have the ball in his hands because his game is built off of athleticism, whether it's attacking the basket, grabbing a rebound. Like, what Russell Westbrook has to have the ball in his hands to be effective. And I knew when you play alongside LeBron, who also has to have the ball in his hands, and at the end of the day, LeBron's going to get the ball at the end of the day. I knew that wasn't going to work. So I knew that coming in from the jump. I definitely didn't expect AD to be hurt as much as he was, Anthony Davis. I didn't expect him to miss so many games on the year. But honestly, that may have been the reason why, like the biggest reason why they're not in the play-in right now is because of the Anthony Davis injury. I mean, given the chemistry issues between LeBron and Westbrook, per se, but at least if they had Anthony Davis for at least 3/4 of the season, they would have easily been, at least like a 6-7 seed in my opinion.
Right. Okay, I'm very good with that. How we doing, Matt? I mean, surprise! Welcome to the stream we got going on here.
Definitely is a big surprise. I want to come on here to say for the Lakers, it's Cancun on 3 season. I've been in Cancun on 3 mode since we did nothing at the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
Before this season, I had a feeling the Lakers were going to do one of two things. They were either going to flourish and do great.
Flourish or flush? I wasn't for sure what you said there because they definitely flushed.
They did flush, or stuff was going to hit the fan. Like, it was going to be an outright disaster. The age was going to show on this team, which it has. Street clothes was going to be street clothes, which he has pretty much since day one.
Oh, you mean Anthony Davis?
Oh yeah. Anthony, not the Kentucky so Anthony crazy. Davis. The Kentucky Anthony Davis is great. I won't trash him.
You're right.
I'm just saying the street clothes version. And what's disappointing with this team is LeBron assembled it. He wanted this team. He built his own fire.
Yeah. Let's not forget about the tweet. That when everybody was talking about how the Lakers were old.
Exactly, and I keep that same energy. I saw that. I was just like, okay, LeBron, you better perform well, because if you don't, that legacy gonna tick a little bit. And lo and behold, it did. I mean, I, at this point, like I heard you guys mention earlier, Nick, you even said, I don't care if this team makes the playoffs. I think it's true.
I'm done with them. Honestly, because I mean, here's the thing though. Like, keep going, Matt. Keep venting.
Like this Lakers team is worse than 2013. At least with 2013, Kobe put the team on his back. He put his team on his back so hard.
Oh, you.
Thank you. He put his team on his back so hard. His Achilles ruptured. His Achilles ruptured for a 7 seed. And LeBron, when he gets a little baby ankle, sorry, can't play. I don't want to play. He didn't elevate his team. Now, granted, the stuff that he's been doing in year 19 is phenomenal. Like, the man could possibly win a scoring title at age 37. He's playing everything up to par. He's playing like the LeBron standards. That's what I like. It's the other people on the side. Like LeBron, you could have had Buddy Hield and DeMar DeRozan. What did you do? You decide to not only go after a player who likes to be ball dominant when you need shooters. You traded the house to get Russell Westbrook. Not Westbrook, like he's been the last 6 games.
Let's not forget, Kyle Kuzma's having a career year this year.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, Nick, that's what every Lakers player does once they leave. I mean, look at
that's true.
Look at D'Angelo Russell in Minnesota, Brandon Ingram, like that's the standard. But it's when you traded all that, like trading Carroll, ACP, Kuzma, and picks. That's a trade that if you make it, you better damn well make the playoffs. Because if you don't, then that trade's going to be a failure.
Well, it was.
And,
I got a question.
And it was. And what's even more disappointing is the Wizards are going to have a better record than the Lakers, even though
that's who they dumped.
We traded for Russell Westbrook. Try to form our own big three.
Hey, Matt, you want to know something else real quick?
And it was worse than 2013.
You want to know something else? Last year, during the trade deadline, the Lakers could have had Kyle Lowry if they traded Taylor Horton-Tucker. They said no. If you remember that.
That's right.
Now,
I'd rather have Lowry at this point.
So, you know.
And I'm sorry, now Nick brought up the point. We could have really had a Lowry, DeRozan, Laker squad like in Toronto, but nah. Mr. Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss wanted to ride King James. What I will say is after this season, if LeBron retires, I don't want any NBA teams to sign him up as a GM because of this season. So his team, he built it, is a disaster.
No, LeBron's not retiring. I doubt it.
Oh, I'm just saying when he does. When he
does
retire, people need to look at this and be like, yeah, this is not my GM.
As long as AD and LeBron don't pull an Antonio Brown and refuse to get surgery until the team has or have a team contract still, I like that. But I want to ask you this, coming from a football, and a fan of the Packers too. There was a player, and I can't remember who he played for. I want to say his name is Aaron Rodgers, that said, "I own you to the Bears." Mm-hmm. Does Zion own the Lakers?
I want to say he's gotten that pedigree yet. With Rodgers, he earned that pedigree through 15 years as a starter, just dominating the Bears year in and year out.
Okay, because Zion
for 15 years. Now, if Zion and the Pelicans dominate the Lakers for the next 5-7 years, I think that claim makes sense. But for right now, I think it's a little far-fetched.
That's why we're in media stuff. We make everything far-fetched.
Oh, of course. But hey, that's what brings in the viewers.
Boy, this is going to be a big summer for Rob and Jeannie. A big summer.
Definitely.
At this point, if I'm the Lakers, you got to find a way to clean house. And it's going to be very hard because nobody's going to want Westbrook. Like, who's going to be willing to trade the assets we traded for Westbrook? We're not going to get that back. You're not going to get back 3 players and multiple picks for Russell Westbrook. That just ain't it. Like, it's just not going to work. And now what I will say is Frank Vogel is going to be fired. It's not about or if, it's when. You'll probably see on the news when the Lakers fail to make the play-in on like April 11th. They're going to give the pink slip to Frank Vogel. And it's a shame because Frank Vogel did some great things. Like first year with the Lakers, helped win a championship. Granted, it wasn't the bubble, but what can you do? And he was filled with a bunch of injuries. But this year, man, there were some points that Frank was doing. It's just like, what are you doing? Like this is why you got fired from Orlando and didn't have a job. Like, son, what you doing? Like, how do you like? There a point like I had a feeling this season was going to be a bit of a disaster when we blew leads. I think it was to Oklahoma City. Like when we lost to teams like Oklahoma City, I'm just like, oh no, like is this going to be one of those seasons? And lo and behold, it was. But I kept hope because there was one game where I saw old man James drop 56 against the Warriors. And I'm just like, hey, you know what? Maybe this is it.
But see, that's the thing, though. He's just going for scoring title now. Like,
he'll
guess
get
what?
It. He'll get the scoring title. It's nothing else.
You brought up that 56-point win. But here's the thing: like the Lakers, like after that game, the Lakers didn't win another game until LeBron dropped 50 again against Washington. So that shows that they really need like his scoring to like even keep themselves afloat, which is not good, especially in year 19.
I agree on that.
But I love the stats that LeBron's putting up. But you can't put this much pressure on him in year 19.
No.
You traded for guys like Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook to take pressure off of his shoulders. To not basically go into like, all right, Bron, score 56, please. We desperately need this. It's just like you don't want that in year 19. You want to be like, all right, Bron, just get us 25, 28. You got AD, he'll pull his share. Westbrook pull his share. And that's that.
Logan says he'll do it, or NFL's doing with Baker. Wait until they cut him with Westbrook and give him a chance on like Indiana or Orlando on a proven contract. I mean, the thing with Westbrook, he's going to have to go to a team that's basically rebuilding. That's just wanting to have a team.
Well, he has to be the man. He has to be the man on his team. Like we saw, like when KD left for Golden State, Westbrook flourished. That's why he turned into Mr. Triple Double. Because he was the show in Oklahoma City. It didn't matter that they were a 6 seed and were going to lose to the Houston Rockets.
Right.
He was the guy. And even when he got traded to the Wizards, when he got traded to the Rockets, that's when you kind of started to saw. I was like, Westbrook is kind of better as a solo guy because he goes to Houston. They barely beat that same Thunder team in 7. Obviously get waxed by the Lakers in 5. Then the next year gets traded to the Wizards. So with the Wizards, they barely make the play and get whooped. And now here he is on the Lakers, and they are most likely going to miss the playoffs.
Oh no, they're missing.
They're missing the playoffs.
Yeah,
and if they do,
what's worse? What's even worse with this Lakers squad is they don't have the tiebreaker to either the Pelicans or the Spurs. They don't got the tiebreaker. It's one thing to be down in the game standings, but to not even have a single tiebreaker against either one of those teams, it's a damn shame. And what sucks about it is we don't even got our pick. This is Memphis's pick right now.
Yeah, they're going to be bad for a while.
Exactly. It's a tough life. Like at least CJ knew his Knicks were done by around like December. Like at least he kind of knew the writing was on the wall. Like, you know what? Julius ain't it.
Maybe like January, February.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But with the Lakers, it was kind of like, all right, let's see what we got. And then once AD got hurt, it's like, all right, street clothes. Just wait and see.
All right, got a question. Let's move on away from the Lakers because I don't want to give them too much time. We already have. I want to ask you guys a couple of questions on awards. Who do you all think is going to win we said MVP already. Who do we think is going to win Defense Player of the Year?
Jaren Jackson Jr. from Memphis. He's a league leader. He's a league leader in blocks. Then on top of that, like he's so versatile on that end because he can really guard 1 through 5, particularly on a switch. So I think that's what gives him an advantage over guys like a Rudy Gobert, a Bam Adebayo, or you name it. But Jaren Jackson Jr. has definitely been one of the tone setters defensively for Memphis, who which is definitely part of the reason why that they've been so successful all year.
What about you, CJ?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Jaren Jackson Jr. as well. Nick made some great points. Most of the reason why they have the record that they have is because of their defense, and he's a big factor in that. Like I said, blocking shots, being versatile, and then I'll also probably say Mikal Bridges over there in Phoenix as well. He does some similar things, has the length and athleticism. He's able to guard the opposing team's best players. He's done a great job this year also. So those would be my top 2 guys, but I'll go with Triple J. All
right, Matt. Who do you think not on the Lakers team will be the Defense Player of the Year?
They don't got nobody.
I mean, it's going to be tough. There are a lot of great players that can win it. Whether it's Jaren Jackson Jr., you can make a case for Gobert or Giannis. But
who do you think's going to win it?
I might have to agree with Nick and CJ and go with Jaren Jackson Jr. Okay. I mean, look, Memphis they are a 2 seed. Without Jaren, and especially people forget John Moran's hurt and they're 20-2. Why are they 20-2? Guys like Jaren Jackson Jr. have stepped up big time to help elevate this Memphis Grizzlies team. And I think you have to give them that just because of the simple fact that hey, they're a 2 seed and they actually have a legit chance to make it to the Western Conference Finals.
I am actually going to go with.
Oh
Bam.
my God! Don't give. Okay, I thought you were going to give us Gobert or somebody.
No. I'm going with Bam. And the reason I'm going with Bam is because I read an article on NBA.com and they were talking to him about the defensive title. And he said that I actually believe that I am the best defensive.
Oh, is that why you're picking him? Because he said that he believes it?
Well, no. Hear me out first, okay? The reason that he was saying that is because he felt like the defensive title is almost misleading because we have people that just votes on the most blocks or the most steals, and that's it. And he was making the case that for himself, one of his favorite plays that he's done this year on the defensive side, and I can't remember who the team was. I'm trying to think. It might have been Charlotte, actually, that he was on ball for a second and guarded him the whole time off of a pick and did a handoff to Gordon, who came around off of the curl with it. And he said they switched on that. He was guarding him for a certain amount of time on that whole same possession. And then there was a pick and roll, and off the pick, the other guy switched, but he had to pick up the big man that they bounced past to, and it was the shot clock's about to go off, and he got the block. But in the viewer's eyes, it would have been, hey, he got the block, but it's not the fact that he guarded 3 of the 5 players on that team, not to mention 2 of the best players for the 24 seconds, basically. He says, I do a lot of this stuff constantly where I'm guarding 1 through 5 most games, and that is getting overlooked of my ability. I'm like, you know what? Bam is really right on that case. And, of course, Triple T, I about said Triple H. Wow, I'm going wrestling here. T does the same too, but I feel like Bam, where he's played on top of the 2-3 and on bottom of their 2-3 that they do, I think Bam deserves to be at least top 1 or 2 in there, and I'm just going to give him more recognition. And because he's a Heat, I'm going to pull a Matt.
That's exactly why you did it. Let's be honest.
Okay, it's more he's a Kentucky boy.
Yeah, I thought you were going to pull the Kentucky card first.
Do what?
I thought you were going to pull the Kentucky card first. Like, I'm going with Bam because he's my Kentucky guy.
Bam, you know what? You need just send me an autograph jersey that I can put up here. That would be
wait. The Michael, what's going to happen then if the Heat play the Suns in the NBA Finals? Which Kentucky boy are you pulling for? Are you pulling for Booker, or are you going for Adebayo or a Hero?
He's gonna go for Bubble Booker.
Bubble Booker. I'd have to go with Bubble Booker. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the haircut. I mean, I went to the barber and said, "Give me the Booker haircut." Okay, I really didn't, guys. Calm down. I really did.
I was gonna say that'd be hilarious if you did.
I know what you're talking about.
Hey, I'd call you goated. You'd be goated if you did.
I would not be goated if I said that and they did that. I would be something else. It'd be not goated. But anyways, what about Rookie of the Year? We'll start with you, CJ.
I got to go with Evan Mobley. I think he's had a great rookie season with the Cavaliers. Did a great job. K came on strong towards the end of the season. Made some great strides. Got some solid wins. Once he started to get healthy, Scotty Barnes as well put up some really good numbers. But I think consistently throughout the season, I think Evan Mobley's done a great job protecting the rim, rebounding the ball, scoring, being a pick and roll. Him and Darius Garland look like a great duo for years to come. And I'm going to go with Mobley.
All right. What about you, Nick?
I'm rocking with Evan Mobley as well. I know it's been a tough race recently. You know, Cade has definitely picked up his game a lot over the last few months or so. So I definitely see it. But you know, when you look at Evan Mobley, he's been doing this basically all year, and because of you know his ability to play hard on both ends, you know, it's definitely part of the reason why the Cavs are even just sitting in the play-in tournament right now. So I definitely got to go with Mobley.
Matt,
I gotta agree as well. I gotta go with Evan Mobley. I mean, the Cavaliers are a 7th seed. And I think if they did not have Evan Mobley, they would not be the 7th seed. He's been a key integral part on why the Cavaliers could actually be relevant without the name LeBron James attached to it.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, him and Garland, definitely. Yeah.
I'm for Mobley as well, but what do y'all think about Giddey this year?
He's been really solid, honestly. Like, he looks like I don't know, like, it's like, I don't want to fill the Steve Nash comparison out there, but it's almost like a bigger Steve Nash per se, because Giddey's not necessarily like a big scorer. He's more of a guy that's going to feed the other guys, get them involved. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's like top 3, but there might be a chance he's probably like cracking the top 5 as far as best rookies this year.
Because I haven't seen him too much, and I would say he wouldn't get it even if he was in the top three because Oklahoma's not
top three, in my opinion, is Mobley, Cade, and Scotty Barnes. Yeah, Scotty Barnes.
Yeah, but I just know I think he's the youngest to get a triple double. Is Giddey? I've seen a stat on that or something like that. Yep. So I've seen a few triple doubles that he's gotten. So I just want to know what y'all thought on him with that. But I think Mobley, I think we're all unanimous on that. What other award am I forgetting? Defense.
Got most improved.
Yeah, most improved and coach of the year, possibly.
Yes. Most improved, Matt. Who do you think is the most improved other than Malik Monk?
I mean, if Malik Monk was the most improved, we'd be in the playoffs, but that ain't the case. Most improved, I gotta. This may be interesting, but I gotta go with Tyler Hero. Reason why I'll go with Tyler Hero is because I don't think any people expected the Miami Heat to be the number 1 seed. People expected Miami to make the playoffs, but maybe kind of more like a 3 to 5 seed range. Mm-hmm. But right now, I know they're only up by 2 games, but with 4 games left, that's a nice solid cushion to have. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because of the play of Tyler Hero, and he's improved tremendously. He had a phenomenal rookie year when the Heat made it to the NBA Finals, and if it weren't for injuries, who knows what would have happened against the Lakers. Mm-hmm. He then had a down year the following year to where people were like, yo, what is up with this guy? He had the old grin face in the finals, and he's playing terrible. Like, what's going on? And he's bounced back, and he's improved great for the Miami Heat, and they've given him the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. And I got to give it to Tyler Hero just because of that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I got Darius Garland. I think he got the award wrapped up. I mean, last year he struggled with some injuries, was hurt with the shoulder, and then now this year coming in, had a phenomenal season. Made the All-Star game. He just had a great season. Scoring 20, getting 10 plus assists. I think he's established himself as a top 10 point guard in the NBA. Him and Mobley, like I just talked about with Mobley, what both of those guys have been able to do at such a young age with the Cleveland Cavaliers, putting them in playoff contention already. It just speaks to their potential, their upside, and he's a big part of that. You need a guard, you need a forward, or that versatile wing forward if you want to have success in the NBA. And he's looking like he's going to be one of the best. We look at that draft. We talk about Ja, we talk about Zion. Of course, obviously RJ as well in New York, but Garland was the 4th pick in that draft. So those are top 4 picks look pretty good right now. I know Zion's hurt, but he's still very talented, and he's really stepped up. If he can stay healthy, he's going to be an excellent point guard in the NBA.
Zion's got the talent of bench sitting pretty good.
Yeah, it's tough for that guy, man.
But I am going to go with an underrated pick, honestly, if you want to say. This is a guy who's probably going to be the reason why the Lakers don't make the play-in, and that's DeJounte Murray from San Antonio. He's definitely increased his scoring by about 10 points or so. He's leading the league in steals right now. I think he's averaging around like eight assists per game as well. So he hasn't really gotten a lot of love because, obviously, with guys like Darius Garland and John Morant and the rest of these other point guards, they've been on winning teams. I mean, San Antonio has been winning to a degree, but it hasn't been on a consistent factor. But DeJounte Murray is definitely – he's overcame a lot, honestly, dealing with the ACL tear about a few years back and just really starting to slowly climb his way back into what he is now. So I'm definitely impressed. I'm definitely impressed with what he's been doing this year. Then I'm just happy to see what the future holds for him going forward.
I'm going to actually go. I'm going to go with Jordan Poole. I think that he probably won't win it, but I just feel like his play this year in the absence of Klay Thompson for the first part of the season.
I ain't mad at that.
Okay. Well, thank goodness. Whew, I was But I just feel like he was one of the main guys that we even have Golden State wherever they are. And I feel like it almost gets overlooked that he is improved. Like it's almost like beginning of the year when he started out hot. It's like, okay, we expect this of him. We almost forget that he wasn't good. Like I feel like he is a very good candidate for the most improved player. And I'm so glad that Nick wasn't mad at it. But what about sixth man of the year? I go with Tyler Hero. I'll go ahead and throw that out there on that.
I think we already said Tyler Hero, didn't we?
I just threw out when he said most improved.
Yeah.
Sixth man of the year, Tyler Hero.
But it's definitely got to be a lock on Tyler Hero. In my opinion, he's been the best player offensively for Miami this year. I mean, if you really want to get technical with it, averaging around 20 points a game on like 45% shooting, he's definitely got it on lock.
100%.
I mean, is there a way where a guy could win 2 awards at once, most improved and sixth man? Which I mean,
possibly.
It possibly can, but I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. Just like Michael's screen over there, switching up a little bit.
It's like the Lakers season. I'm done, boys.
It's like the Lakers season. I'm done. All right. This is gonna be interesting, but I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna go with Kelly Oubre.
My colors just
Kelly Oubre.
Yeah,
that's a wild card. That's a wild card.
I know it's a wild card, but
I don't think anybody else would have picked that answer.
I already got Tyler Hero for most improved. I don't want to repeat. I want to be a little different. But I mean, you look at the Hornets; they are the 9th seed. They're only a game back of the Hawks for the 8th seed. If they could find a way to get in that 8th seed predicament, they could have a good chance to be a 7th seed. And I think it's going to be exciting to see, who knows? Tyler Hero could possibly easily win it as well. You're not wrong there, but to be a little different, throwing Kelly Oubre, that would be something right there. And if he does win it, you heard it here on April 3rd.
He's not though.
Yeah, he's not.
I know, but I'm just saying. Hey, CJ, that's why I said if he does.
Yeah,
if he does.
If he does, you heard it here first.
That was a name I did not expect to come up at all in this conversation.
At all. That was funny.
He blew me with that one.
Okay. With that being said, boys, it is almost 11 o'clock. I say we go ahead and call this show a wrap. I will go ahead and throw this out here. Owen, who is not on the show right now, thank you so much for joining. If you were to be listening, we do appreciate it. He did mention he'd come back on the show anytime. Glad, CJ, glad you got to jump in here with us. Nick, glad you got to be on here the whole time. Matt, it was a surprise, and you always bring such great stuff. I won't say facts, but I'll say stuff that you bring here to the show. It's always so much fun.
Man, I was going to say, I brought some good valid info. You heard me vent about the Lakers, which was valid. I threw in your boy Tyler Hero for most improved. Come on. I did not deserve that.
Kelly for the 6th man of the year. But, it's cool. We love you. We love you so much. CJ, we'll start with you. Go ahead and give all your shout-outs, what you got going on, and your podcast and everything.
Yeah, you got Garda podcast, solo podcast covering all things NBA. Got the Hard Count, Anthony Conover and I, every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, streaming on all platforms, USN platforms, and Twitch as well, CJ versus the World, and also on Twitter, my gaming Twitter page, CJ versus the World. Also playing some 2K, Madden. Also some other games as well, but those are the top 2. So look out for me there as well.
All right. Now I got a quick question. You have to have Xbox Live to play 2K Live, right?
Yeah, I'm on PlayStation. I mean, I have the Xbox, but I play. You gotta have Xbox Live. Yeah, you gotta have or Game Pass, which is kind of like the same thing, right?
Okay, because somebody has told me that they want me to play Call of Duty with them, and they're like, "Hey, no, you don't have to have it." I'm like, I'm pretty sure you have to. But maybe
you gotta have it online.
Okay. Matt, let's hear from you.
Well, my Twitter handle is down below, Matt_Skura. Check it out. Instagram at Matt_Skura21. Check out in the links in both of those bios. Has a link tree to my sports podcast. Me and my great friend Kev Condit do called MCS Real Sports Podcast. We talk all things NBA and NFL related. You name it. It's available everywhere. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Anchor. You name it, it is available everywhere. And as always, it is a pleasure to be on the Hard Count, not the Hard Count, Count the Bucket.
It might be a pleasure to be on the Hard Count, but this is Count the Bucket, Yeah,
it's a pleasure to be on Count the Bucket. And, I'm just excited to celebrate Cancun on 3 season, Los Angeles Lakers edition. Mm-hmm. And, I'm excited to see how these Final 4 games, face out.
Them Lakers are on that banana boat already, aren't they?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Perry was just there earlier in Mexico, just scoping out to tell the Lakers where the spot is at.
Yep. All right, Nick, let's hear from you.
As always, follow me on Twitter at Nick Andre ATR. Very active on NBA Twitter on there. Cover everything from high school to the pros. Check out the link tree. You'll find everything from podcasts, articles, you name it. I actually need to update it because it's honestly a mess right now, but we'll figure it out.
Now, I do have to ask this. Did you ever make that Sean Kemp article? You didn't, did you? Because you said, hey, during Christmas break, I'm going to make that. And I'm sitting thinking, I'm pretty sure I never seen that. But okay, I mean.
I have an introduction paragraph done, and I did finish it.
Well, I mean.
I got you. You know what? We're going to make a promise right here. We're going to be on next Sunday. By next Sunday, the Sean Kemp article will be out.
Okay.
It will be out.
I will not hold my breath on that, but excited if it gets dropped. So, okay, great.
We're going to make it happen before next Sunday. So by the introduction of next episode, we have to ask, is the Sean Kemp article here?
Okay.
And when it is, I will share the link on here.
There we go. So my name is Michael, as you can see on the screen. Follow us on Twitter at CountBucketUSN. You can follow me, MDLawson00. That's pretty much on any kind of social media. In the link in the bio has my bio has my link tree. There we go. Show my age here. Can't speak right.
Link tree
is where we can find all the good stuff on there. Obviously, guys, if you're watching the video, also download the app Colorcast. Follow us all on there. USN. You can search everyone here with us that's a part of the Unwrapped Sports Network. We're so thankful for the app. It does so much for us. It helps give us a little dough, and we love that. So, again, we're on podcast, Apple Pod, all that whole 9 yards that Matt was saying there. So go check out all the episodes. Also on Thursday with Anthony Conover, like CJ was saying, but not on the hard count. He joins me on Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for Backstop Banter. So, guys, thank you all so much.
Backstop Banter.
Y'all have a good one.
Deuces.
See you.